me try.
Let me try.
I think it's this one. No?
Ah, okay, I see. Do you hear me? I'm so glad to be here. It's a great honor for me to talk in these premises, and it is so great that Luigi and Yonara and all other participants of Broward Spiritist Society will listen to me. I'm so happy to be here. So I will tell you about Robert Monroe and his books. He wrote 3 books. I didn't know about him until I went to America. It was 25 years ago. At that time, one lady who was my friend, we went together to meditation group, told me, "Hey, listen, I bought 3 books, but I'm afraid to read them because they have such a strange title." And she showed me these books, and she told me, "Let's do this. You will be the first one who will read them, and then I will read." Okay, she showed me books. The name was Johnny Out of the Body. It was not scaring for me because I never heard these words, and I agreed. So she gave me 3 books. I read them in a gulp, like this, because it was so interesting, so unusual. For me, it was like groundbreaking, eye-opening, mouth-dropping, all these words. Then I decided that I need to read it in English. Why? Because maybe I didn't know all terminology. I bought books in English and read all of them, again, like one gulp. Then I decided, no, maybe I didn't understand English because it is my second language. I started to read again in Russian, these 3 first books. I read them. They were so amazing. And then I decided to talk about it everywhere, and that's why I'm here, to talk about it to you, with you about it, about this information. So I will tell you about Robert Monroe. Robert Monroe was not a magician, religious person. He was not mystic. He was not spiritist. He has nothing to do with spirituality. He has nothing to do with esoteric knowledge. He was a businessman. He was very grounded, good businessman, very rich, and he ran several corporations. But something happened to him. When he was young, he graduated from university in Ohio and started to work in the radio corporations. He wrote shows, scenarios for radio talks and for radio shows. And he was very much successful. He was married, he had children. Then he moved to New York. And again, he started to work with radio corporations. He had several, at this time, he already bought several radio talks, radio stations. And he continued to write scenarios for radio talks and for radio shows. So he worked with sound. You know that sound is a wave, and wave has a frequency. This is very important. So everything was okay. His career was very good. Then he moved to Virginia. He bought several cable stations, TV cable stations at that moment. He was very rich. And it is very important because I will mention about it a little bit later. So how it started? In his corporation, he decided to do his own project. He had such feature as researching. His father was a professor in some university. He researched something all the time. So he decided to make his own project. not about radio shows or talks. He had a dream. He decided that it would be absolutely great if a student, any student, who would like to go next day and to pass exam on some subject will learn this subject during the night before exam, during sleeping time. And he decided to find this sound frequency that students can learn the subject while sleeping. It is a dream of all students all over the world. To do nothing, to have fun all semester, and then to learn everything during one night. So he took one room in his corporation and started to go there and to listen tapes. There was tapes at that time because it was 50s, 60s years of last century. Last century was not long ago. I lived in last century and it was like yesterday. So don't think that it was long ago. So he started to listen tapes on different subjects and in sleeping mode, in sleeping time. And one day he discovered that he is under the ceiling and that he is looking on himself laying on the sofa, sleeping on the sofa. He decided that he was dying. Of course he was dying. What else could it be? So, and he decided, but then he decided to forget about it at all. But this phenomena started to happen to him again and again. And that's why he decided that he was really dying. And as he was dying, he started to go to doctors. One doctor, second doctor, third doctor. So he spent 2 years to go from one doctor to another, trying to understand what is going with him, because this phenomena started to happen to him very often. For these 2 years, he already learned how to deal with it. And all doctors told him the same: you are absolutely okay, absolutely, you are a healthy man. Then he decided, if he is healthy, if his body is healthy, something wrong with his mind. Maybe he has a tumor, and maybe he became crazy. So he decided to go to mental doctors. Again, he spent the whole year to go there. Everything was okay. He was absolutely healthy, mentally healthy. Then one day his friend, Dr. Bradshaw, told him. He did not tell anybody about his events, what is going on with him. Nobody knew. And he did not tell doctors why he started to go to doctors. But his friend, Dr. Bradshaw, told him. He was a psychotherapist, and he told him, Bob, I don't know what is going on in your life, but I see that you are looking for something. Listen, you are a Western person. Your background is Western. You know Western philosophy, Western culture. But there is not only Western culture. In this world, there is also Eastern culture, Eastern philosophy, Eastern knowledge. Maybe if you go to the library and read their books, maybe you will find something what you are looking for. And it was a great idea for Robert Monroe. He went to the library and he found tons of books about Eastern philosophy, Eastern culture, and he learned what is going on with him. He learned the name of this phenomena. He named the name of it is astral projection, astral traveling. So he is a master of astral projection, astral journey, and he was very happy about it. And he stopped to go to doctors, and he decided to research himself. Again, he did not tell about it to anybody. But he started to research himself. How he did it? He took a notebook and started to write down everything what happened to him. First of all, he decided to learn what is it that goes out of him and flying near the ceiling. What it is? So he did it for 10 years. And then, after 10 years, he published his notes. He published his notes without any comments, religious, philosophy, anything, just what happened, time and what happened with him. And after it, he started to receive letters from all states of America in these big bags, because thousands of people wrote him, "Thank you very much. Thank you very much that you wrote your mouth and that you tell about it honestly and sincerely, because we also have this phenomena, but we were afraid to talk about it, to tell to somebody. We were afraid that we will be sent to the mental hospital." And relatives started to send him letters in these big bags, sending, "We have a daughter, or we have a son, a husband who has this phenomena, and we were afraid that this person was crazy." So he was very happy. His book became bestseller. It was translated into 30 languages, and he started to receive letters from all countries with the same thank you, with the same gratitude, that thank you very much that you started to talk about it. So I will return back to what he did, how he researched himself. First of all, he decided not to use the terminology which he found in the Eastern books. He decided to use his own terminology. He started to call this what is going out of him and flying under the ceiling, second body. So he decided to say what properties, what characteristics this second body has. First of all, he discovered that it has weight. How he did it? He just was under the ceiling and he dropped himself to the floor, and he noticed that he is flying very, very slowly, like a feather of the bird, and come to the floor, first his body, then his arms and his legs. So this second body has weight, very, very tiny, but nevertheless it was the weight. Then he learned he can go through walls. He tried to go out of his room. First he researched his room, he examined his room, then he went out of his room to other rooms of his house. And he tried to take a handle of the door to open it, but his hand goes through the handle. But he can go through the walls, he can go through the door. Then he learned that he can move around his house, then around his building. Then he discovered that this second body has absolutely the same senses as the physical body. That when he is in the second body, he can listen, he can hear, he can see, he can touch and feel the same touching, absolutely. Everything was the same. And he was very happy to learn about it. Then he learned that this body is very plastic and that it can change form. For example, one day he decided to take something or to touch something, and it was far away at the far corner of the room. But his arm started to be very long, and he could do it. So he learned that this body can change this form, and he speculated that maybe all these fairy tales about that people can have other forms, maybe this is really true. It was just his guess. Then he learned that this body can be visible under certain conditions. Not everything, nobody can see him. But one day he traveled he decided to visit his friend. And he lost his way, because when you go on the street on your foot, or while you drive on your car, you can see it from below. But if you fly, it is different view. And at that time, on 60s of last century, they did not have all these devices to look from above. That's why he lost his way. And he sat on some of the roof in his town to decide where he is, how to return home, because the most important for him was to return home back to his body, to his real physical body. And he sat here and saw a lady in the backyard cleaning something, and this lady suddenly looked at him right into his eyes, and he understood that this lady can see him. He did not know what exactly this lady can see, but he decided to run away from this place immediately. Then other day he went to visit his friend, and his friend has a romantic date with some lady, and they started to make love, and to make love. And Robert decided to watch them, not just out of curiosity, not for scientific purpose. And suddenly he also noticed that this lady looked at him right into his eyes, so this lady could see him, and he went away immediately. So he noticed that sometimes his second body can be seen when he traveled. Also, he heard about silver cord, that in some literature it was mentioned that the second body has a silver cord which goes from the head. He decided to learn about it. One day when he was out of his body, in his second body, he just used his hand to find it. He found it not from his head, but in between the, I don't know what it is, staples, so somewhere here, that it's really something goes from him and disappears above. So he wrote in his note that there is a silver cord. That's all. He didn't examine it anymore. Then he learned that this body can react to electricity. So if it is some electrical lines, for example, along the street, he could not go there. It was, and he wrote about it in his first book. So his first book was about researching what it is that goes out of him. Then the next step, what he did, he needed to have a confirmation that all his experience, it was not his hallucinations. He started to need that somebody can confirm that it's really happened to him. And he started to talk to his friends. He told, for example, one lady, I will come to you at 4 o'clock, be ready, and then you will tell me, what did you see? This lady, of course, forgot about it. The lady was at home reading a newspaper. Robert came to her house, saw her. He could describe what was in this room, what this lady did, and then he went back home and called her and said, I visited you, what did you see? This lady told, oh, you know what, I saw something in the far corner of the room, and something looked like a piece of transparent fabric, like chiffon, for example. And it started to move and in my direction. And this lady was scared about it. And she explained, hey, Bob, is it you? It was really Bob, but he decided to go away, to go home. So, but nevertheless, it was a confirmation for him that somebody saw him, that somebody can confirm that he was there, that was such and such room with such and such furniture and so on and so forth. Then he decided to Dr. Bradshaw, his friend. Doctor was sick and was in his bed, in bedroom. He came to his house. The bedroom was empty. He went to look for his friend, he went to the backyard and saw his friend talking with his wife. Then wife went to buy some to pharmacy to buy some medicine for his friend. He returned home, called him and said, "Listen, I was there. You were not in your bedroom. You were in your backyard." And he described everything. And he said, "Oh yes, it was really so." So for him it was a confirmation that everything what happened with him was not his own dreams or hallucinations or something else, that it was really happened to him. And in his book there were many happenings when he described all these confirmations. Then what he discovered, that there are 3 different locales where he traveled. Locale 1 was our physical world, and I have already told you a little bit about physical world. But then he noticed that if he think about somebody, for example, he decided to visit his friend, some friend, and he told, "I will come to you, for example, at 5 o'clock. And of course, this friend forgot about it, but Robert, when he was in his second body, decided not to think about place where he should go, but to think about the person. And boom, immediately he was near this person, but not in his room, not in his office, as they agreed, but in New York. And this person was in the restaurant talking with somebody unknown to him. But nevertheless, Robert made his notes, returned home, and called him and said, "Listen, I just saw you, but you are not at home, and you're not in your office. You are in New York." And he said, "Oh yes, I forgot to tell you that I had a business trip and I have to go to New York." So he understood that when he is in second body, he should think not about place where he would like to go, but about the person, and he will be near this person. Yes, and that it can be easily to be lost in this physical world when you are looking from above. This is locale first. Then locale 2. It is away from ordinary reality, quite separate from physical world. And it is a world of thoughts. Whatever you think will happen to you immediately. And he wrote in this page that you need to think before thinking, because if you will not learn how to control your feelings and your thoughts when you are alive in this physical world, it will be you'll need to do it immediately when you come after your death, because after your death, whatever you will have, it will be your own thoughts, because when you're in the second body or when you go out of the body, when you are in this second body or out of the body at all, you will have exactly what you are thinking about, exactly what you feel about. And so this is the world of thoughts. So we need to learn while we are here to control our thoughts and to control our feelings. Then he noticed that this second locale 2 have the rule, have the law, like attracts like. If you have some desires, you have some dreams inside you, but it is not your real dreams, it will not happen with you when you come to this different reality. It will happen with you what you have really inside you, in your deep score, in the innermost of your desires. You will have it immediately. I saw some movie. It was said that some person decided to have money to help his brother, but really he wanted not to help to his brother. He wanted money, big money, and he received this money whenever he went to this state, whenever he happened to be there. Then he noticed that around the planet of Earth there are layers and layers of this second locale, and these layers can be referred as to the lower and higher astral planes. So the closest layer near the world is their inhabitants are with very low consciousness. They can be compared with the children of 5-6 years old. They are very angry. The only thing that they would like to do is to push you, to pull, to tear you. So if you come to this layer, it will be very unpleasant experience. That's why Robert Monroe learned how to go through it very calmly, so not to disturb anybody there, and to go to higher layers around the world. And because there are some other creatures, live, like angels, archangels, who are more developed and more evolved. Then he noticed that in this locale too, there are different three types of inhabitants. One of them were people who are sleeping. If you sleep, you go out of your body in the second body, and you can go to some school. But when Robert Monroe met them, they were sleeping, not conscious where they are, and were sure that nobody are around them. The second, he found lost inhabitants. It were people who already died, but they did not know that they died. They did not realize it, because they did not know that there is something else besides physical world, besides physical life. And that's why they continue to behave as if they are alive, as if they are alive. And they were very much surprised what happened with them, but did not understand what is going on. So he gave him name Lost. Then he found that there are also people, he called them wild, because they also were already dead, but they also did not realize that they are dead, already dead, that they do not have their physical body. But they did not know about it, but they already noticed that they can behave in this world differently. They can do anything, and they will not be punished, because nobody will notice them. And that's why they allowed themselves very wild things. For example, he described as he traveled in his second body in the center of New York, in Manhattan, in 47th Street, in the center of Manhattan. He noticed that one, I will say person, but it was not person, he was in his second body, tried to go to the restaurant and grab the cocktail to drink, some wine to drink, and he could not do it because his arm went through the glass. Then policeman was in the middle of the intersection trying to regulate the traffic, but his body was nearby. He was in the accident and already dead. A lady who went along the street, along through the people and walls, without even noticing that. It is very strange. Then he noticed that this is kind of close layer around the world. But if you go higher, to the higher levels, there are inhabitants are attracted to different places of it. there are many, many, many layers, and who are there, whom he found there. It is people are there in accordance with their belief systems. For example, it was a layer of communists, a layer of Catholics, a layer of Republicans, a layer of scientists, and in scientists it could be physicians, doctors, mathematicians. They gather together and they continue to talk about what they would like to talk about, about things that are interesting for them. So if you certainly will find, when you die, you will certainly find somebody who will be very pleased to talk with you, because we will have something in common. He called this belief systems. And then he found locale 3. He was very much amazed. Locale 3 was similar to our physical world, but in another dimension. They also have buildings, cities, transport. They did not have electricity. Robert Monroe did not understand how it works. But what was amazing for him, that he found himself. He saw himself there with different life. He watched himself, then he decided to come into him. When he came into this body, into this other dimension, it was very bad, because he could not talk with his wife, because he had different wife, different profession, because he didn't know anything about this person. So he moved away. But after this experience, he started to contemplate that maybe our soul not come to our world, to our physical world, like 100%. Maybe a soul come here to our physical body here, only like 10% of it, and then other 10% can be in other dimensions, and other dimensions, and not for sure a physical world. So our soul can have experience simultaneously in different dimensions with different lives. And maybe even in our physical world, we also can have simultaneously 2 or 3 physical bodies with different life, to have different experiences. Maybe, so he did not tell about it for sure, but it was his thoughts about it, that maybe it is true. He noticed that when he traveled, people did not hear him. So I told you about it, so let's go further. Then, when he traveled along this all layers around the earth, he found many different like cities. It looks like a city which was described by Chico Javier. Do you remember Nossa? It was exactly like this. But one day, when he was far, far away from the earth, he came to a place which he called park. He noted that it is like a park, many trees here, alleys, and people sitting on their benches waiting for something. He understood that they came to the place like Nossa, that they will have maybe some interview with some board of directions or judges or somebody else or his guides, and they are waiting for something, for their next experience, that then they will be sent back to the earth, or maybe to some other dimension, or to their home. Then he found other place which was also in some very far high layers, and he called it home, because when he come here he felt so good. It was so good for him. He noted that it was a music which he loved. He noted that it is like clouds of different colors around him, and he felt such an enjoyment here. He could not go away from this place. But he should go because his body, which was at that moment in his bedroom, needed to go to bathroom. It was very realistic and real reason. He came back to his body, but he decided to go back. He visited this place which he called home several times, and he noticed that it is boring here, that the music is the same, that the color of the clouds the same, and at this moment he decided that maybe it is really his home, but he decided to go out of here to earth to have all these experiences, because when we are here in this world, we have a lot of experience and it is not boring for us. Then he noticed that he always have helpers. From very first years of his research, he noticed that somebody always helped him. When he was going along the physical world and he could not go up to the hill, somebody took his elbow and helped him to go there. When he was in some absolutely unknown world, unknown dimension, somebody always helped him. But he thought that he is okay, that somebody will help him always. But it is not true. He had some experiences when nobody helped him. For example, he returned home from his body in the second body to his physical body, and it was a wall in front of him, and he could not go through it. And he started to pray. He recalled all prayers which he learned. Then he started to cry. Then he started to pray prayers which he started to create at this very moment. He started to cry. He understood that this is all, that he will never return back to his physical world. Point. And then he decided to come and to think, okay, I tried left, right to go through this wall, up, down. I could not do it. The only direction which I did not try, it's back. And he tried to go back, and boom, he was in his body. And then he writes that he could not understand why nobody helped him. He asked about it with tears. Nobody came. So he wrote that when we are in the second body traveling there, we have helpers, but you cannot be sure that helpers will come in time. What else? Then I already mentioned you that he made his own exploration of his own experiences for 10 years, and he published his first book in 1972, and he started to have all letters from all over the world. And in these letters there were not only thank you very much because you started to talk about it openly and honestly, but also many people who did not have this experience, they decided to help him, to be near him, to also to participate in his work. Many people came, people of all different professions, medical doctors, practitioners, engineers, businessmen, whatever, scientists. They not just wrote him that they would like to be near him, but they really moved to Virginia near him. And from this moment, after 1972, after the publishing of the first book, there was created an institute, Monroe Institute. Monroe built this building. This is Monroe Institute in Virginia, who continued. So from this point, they started to do the research of the consciousness in different states in a big team. It was a devoted team who came to him to do this work. And all what they did was described in his second book. And I will tell you about the second book because their adventures were much more interesting and groundbreaking. Second book, Far Journeys, the research of the Monroe Institute. First, the Monroe Institute, the name was like researching consciousness in different states. It was a very long name, but now it is known as Monroe Institute. And I will tell you about it next time. And I can promise you that I will tell you something that you will be shocked. I promise to shock you next time with the information from far journeys in different dimensions. That's it. Thank you very much. If you would like that I send you this book, I have this book in audio format, I need your telephone numbers. So I have a list of where you can write down your name and telephone number, and I will send it to you by WhatsApp. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to talk with you. I'm really disappointed there is not many people, but I hope that next time it will be more.